Friday, July 22, the police recorded 4 carjackings last Friday morning that occurred within a period of 3 hours, in separate events, in San Juan and Carolina, Puerto Rico. According to various news reports, the first incident was reported at around 3:08 a.m. against a woman on Constitucion Avenue, in San Juan. The woman reported that a man carrying a firearm approached her and, through threats and intimidation, stripped her of multiple belongings and a rented car. The items were described as a Coach brand purse, an iPhone 12 Pro Max, a Rolex watch, and various bracelets. Meanwhile, the car was described as a Hyundai Accent, gray color, license plate JSS 788, which is owned by Next Car Rental. The second carjacking occurred at about 4:58 a.m. on Eleanor Roosevelt Street, in front of the El Cojo business, in Hato Rey. The complainant alleged that he was passing through the area when he was approached by 2 individuals carrying firearms. According to the report, they hit the victim in his face with the butt of a gun and then stripped him of a 2019 black Nissan Versa, license plate JEZ 539. The third incident was reported half an hour later in the Texaco garage, located on Huey Avenue, in Carolina. According to the police, a man was at the station around 5:30 a.m. when another individual approached him and threatened him with a firearm. He robbed the victim of a 2018 Kia Forte, license plate 10495TX.
Monday, July 25, a policeman, who was directing traffic on the Dos Hermanos Bridge, in San Juan, jumped into the water, this Monday morning, to save a tourist who was swept away by the current. According to the police report, Officer Abiy Ramon Montijo learned of the incident after the son of the distressed man, Anthony Scarp, from New Jersey, requested help. A young man approached, reporting that his father and mother needed help because the tide was taking them away. Immediately, the officer of the Arecibo Highway Patrol, working for the San Juan police at this time, jumped from the bridge and rescued the man. The woman, who was not identified, managed to get to shore. The couple received medical assistance, authorities said.
Saturday, July 23, the police classified the discovery of the body of a man inside a plastic cover on Saturday morning as a murder. The body was found on Viña Final Street, between the Almendros Plaza 2 building and the Berwind High School, in San Juan, Puerto Rico. A call to the 911 emergency system alerted the authorities about a dead person in the area. Upon arrival, officers located a man's body inside a black plastic bag. According to the police, the corpse showed signs of violence, such as blunt force trauma. The deceased, who has not been identified, was described as being between 25 and 30 years old, fair complexion, dyed blonde hair, brown eyes, weighing about 150 pounds, and 5 feet 6 inches tall. Police identified a flower tattoo on the victim's right leg, with the names of Carmen, Sophia, and Ariana.
Sunday, July 24, the Police Bureau is investigating a murder, registered in the early hours of Sunday, in the El Semi residential complex, in Luquillo, Puerto Rico. According to the preliminary report, a call to the 911 emergency system, received at around 2:33 a.m., alerted to a suspicious situation in the area. Upon arrival at the scene, officers found the body of a man with multiple fatal gunshot wounds. The deceased has not been identified, and the motive for the crime is under investigation. Shortly before this crime, at 12:32 a.m., the police also recorded a murder on Highway 858, kilometer 0.8, Cacao neighborhood, in Carolina. According to preliminary information, a call alerted the authorities about a burning body. Once at the scene, agents located the body of a man who had several gunshot wounds. This victim has also not been identified. The police speculate that he is between 25 and 30 years old and was described as white-skinned. He was wearing a red polo shirt, black shorts, and black sneakers.
Saturday, July 23, a woman and a man were killed, in the early hours of Saturday, in events that occurred in a residence, on 5th Street, in Arecibo, Puerto Rico. According to the preliminary police report, several individuals arrived at the residence, carrying firearms, and fired several shots at the couple, identified as Hery Diaz Rosado, 34, and Lorraine Martinez Roman, 33. The events were recorded at 12:58 a.m. The Homicide Division of the Criminal Investigation Corps of Arecibo is in charge of the investigation. Luitenant Carlos Velez, director of the Arecibo CIC, stated that they are in the process of collecting evidence from the scene, conducting interviews, and identifying and reviewing security camera footage. The number of murders to date stands at 332, equaling the number of murders on this same date last year.
Thursday, July 21, a judge determined Thursday cause for arrest against 5 people accused of a massacre that occurred in 2020 in a residence in the Almani neighborhood in Mayagüez, Puerto Rico. The defendants are Jose Diaz Gonzales, who faces charges for murder and attempted murder; Christian Rodriguez Marrero, charged with murder and attempted murder; Christian Barbosa Lopez faces charges for murder and destruction of evidence; and Luis Crespo Cumba is charged with murder and attempted murder. The victims of the crime were Freddie Charon Valentin, 27 years old, and known in the underworld as Baby Boy; Richard Nieves Albaran, one of the perpetrators; and Edmari Suarez Calderon, 30. Nieves Albaran's body was wedged into a gate in front of the house. Baby Boy was under electronic supervision at that time, as he was charged with the double murder of a woman and her 8-year-old daughter, which occurred in May 2020. The victims were identified as Rosaliam Torres Enriquez, 8, and her mother, Yesenia M. Enriquez Rivera, 31. It is alleged that they were with other people, looking at an all-terrain vehicle on the side of the road, when shots were fired from a moving vehicle, which were supposedly directed at another person, presumably the girl's stepfather. In Puerto Rico, the Constitution gives each defendant a right to a speedy trial, and states incarceration prior to trial shall not exceed 6 months, nor shall bail or fines be excessive. Therefore, many times, dangerous criminals will be freed, and gangland or vigilante justice eventuates. Judge Maria Del Pilae Vazquez, of the Mayagüez Court, imposed bail of $2.4 million against Diaz, $2.5 million against Rodriguez, and $200,000 against Cumba. None were able to make bail. Barbosa was able to post $90,000 bail through a private bondsman, and Crespo was filed in absentia. An arrest warrant was issued.
Wednesday, July 21, the Bonado prosecutor's office filed 6 charges last Wednesday afternoon against the truck driver, Luis Alfonso Garcia De Jesus, who confessed that he assaulted his partner until she was unconscious, and later abandoned her baby in a forest near the Luis A. Ferre Highway, in Sanata Isabel. The 26-year-old also burned the victim's car before kidnapping the 4-month-old girl. Garcia De Jesus was charged with 3 counts of kidnapping, aggravated arson, destruction of evidence, 2 counts of attempted murder, and 1 count of violating the explosives law. The bail was imposed at $975,000, which he did not pay. Therefore, he will remain in jail. The baby suffered internal bleeding and a skull fracture, and is miraculously alive, according to Commander Gerardo Oliver, of Criminal Investigations. The father of the baby, Jesus Gabriel Zayas Bermudez, stated, "I don't even know what to say. Thank God I have her alive." The motive for the attack remains unclear. The little girl and her mother remain hospitalized at the Rio Piedras Medical Center.
Thursday, July 26, Judge Francisco Borelli Irizarry, of the Court of Carolina, dismissed the charges of resisting and obstructing the exercise of public authority against Zulma Iris Figueroa Cordova and Luis Angel Colon. The married couple were preparing to face trial for refusing to fill out the traveler's declarations on January 2, the documentation required, at that time, for vaccination status and negative test of COVID-19, and for not delivering identification documents to officials of the Luis Muñoz Marin International Airport.
Friday, July 22, after one of the most controversial months in Ricky Martin's career, the singer reappeared on stage, to mass applause. The Puerto Rican singer performed at the Hollywood Bowl, in Los Angeles, this past weekend. His family was in crisis, earlier this month, after his nephew alleged he had an affair with him, and filed a restraining order against Martin. The nephew, Dennis Yadiel Sanchez, 21 years old, alleged domestic violence against Ricky Martin. The young man had applied for a protection order, and claimed to have received death threats. After a romantic relationship, he allegedly had with his uncle for 7 months ended. Sanchez withdrew the complaint this past Thursday. During the last weeks, Martin and his legal team denied the facts, and one of his brothers even claimed that the nephew suffered from mental problems.
Saturday, July 23, San Juan commemorated its 500 years, with a regatta, and the visiting school ships from parts of North Central and South America. With great fanfare, the visiting training ships from Colombia, Mexico, Uruguay, and Brazil arrived in San Juan Harbor. A stage, erected beside the docks, showcased musical groups and dancing. 60 local artisans displayed their crafts in booths on the sidewalks. The response was overwhelming, as authorities struggled with problems of traffic, transportation, and crowd control.
Despite the fact that inflation impacts the tourism economy of the United States and Puerto Rico, no negative effects are expected for the industry, assured Brad Dean, the Chief Executive Officer of Discover Puerto Rico. 45% of travelers plan to enjoy their vacations at the beach during the next 18 months. They are also more likely to book longer stays, guided tours, or outdoor activities for their next vacation, Expedia Group reported. Destination marketing executive, Christopher Thompson, indicated that inflation, caused by increased gas prices and fueled by the war between Russia and Ukraine, has not affected demand for travel to U.S. soil.
Thanks for watching. Here's your weather for the week. Be sure and follow us on Facebook and Twitter for up-to-date news, weather, business, entertainment, tourism, viral videos and more. Search Puerto Rico English News, or follow the link in the description. Find us on Twitter at PR English News. Thanks for subscribing. Have an amazing week.